In 2026, one wrong dividend stock can wipe out both your monthly income and your savings without warning. Most people want income better than FD without rental stress. But chasing high yield is the fastest way to lose long-term wealth. So in this video, you will learn how to find stable dividend income and avoid dangerous yield traps using 5 filtered stocks for 2026. First, here's how stock passive income actually works. Passive income means money that keeps coming even when you stop actively working, like rent or fixed deposit interest. In the stock market, this income comes from dividends. Cash companies share from their profits. But here's where most investors make a dangerous mistake. They chase dividend yield. For example, if a stock is 100 rupees, and pays 5 rupees as dividend, the yield looks like 5%. But if that stock falls to 50 rupees next year, your income may look fine while your capital is already bleeding. This is the silent danger. High dividend can feel safe while your wealth quietly shrinks. That's why real passive income is not about the highest yield. It's about business survival, steady cash flow, reliable dividends across cycles. Using exactly this filter, I have selected 5 stocks for 2026, not based on hype, but on income durability. And we start with the most boring looking one, which is also the strongest foundation. Number 5 on our list is NTPC. This is India's biggest power generation company, a government PSU, and it plays a major role in supplying electricity in the country. Since the nature of the business is utility type, the earnings are not like a roller coaster and remain on the stable side. NTPC has given regular dividends for many years. In the recent years, the combined dividends have been roughly in the 2 to 3% yield range, depending on the share price. There may be some ups and downs, but overall it gives a decent level of passive income. It is not a very high yield, but it is a good name for stability. The company is also expanding into renewables like solar and wind, which means a new future growth angle has been added. If we look at the positives, this is a critical business. If the country needs electricity, companies like NTPC are compulsory. It has government backing and long-term power purchase agreements make the cash flows predictable. The negatives are that since it is a PSU, policy changes, regulations, and coal cost issues can impact it. Even though the yield is lower compared to stocks like Coal India, I have placed NTPC at the 5th position for stability plus moderate income. Now let's move from stability to higher income. Number 4, REC Limited. REC Limited, earlier known as Rural Electrification Corporation. This is a PSU NBFC that gives loans to power projects, generation, transmission and distribution. In simple words, it supplies money to the power sector. On the dividend side, REC is very aggressive. Based on recent data, the dividend yield is roughly around 5% range, which means for a 100 rupees share price, it feels like about 5 rupees per year. The company declares dividends multiple times in a year through interim and final dividends. So the cash flow pattern remains regular. The payout ratio is also not 100% of the total profit, as the company still retains some profit, so the sustainability angle is good. The positives are a high dividend yield and decent growth as power and infrastructure lending continue to grow. Valuations also become attractive from time to time when compared to other PSU companies. The negatives are the well-known PSU plus NBFC. Double risk. Since it gives loans to state discoms, there can be recovery issues, reforms impact, and interest rate risk. Recently, the stock price has run up a lot, so new investors should be careful from a valuation point of view. From an income perspective, REC is a strong candidate for a long-term passive income basket. Now let's move from lender to backbone. Number 3 on our list is Power Grid. This company is basically the backbone of India's power system, transmitting electricity between different states and regions, and maintaining the high voltage network is its main business. Even if there are many generation companies to distribute electricity and make it reach everywhere, entities like Power Grid are required. If we look at the dividend history, Power Grid gives dividends regularly every year. If we see the last few years numbers, the yield has been moving in the 4 to 5% range and shifting based on market price. And most importantly, importantly, it has a track record of more than 10 years. Interim and final dividends keep coming regularly. The business is regulated, so sudden situations like profits becoming zero generally do not happen. If we look at the positives, there are stable cash flows, the importance of the national grid, a regular dividend policy, and a moderate yield. The negatives are PSU risk, dependence on government capex decisions, and regulated return caps, meaning there is no unlimited growth. In some years, if projects get delayed, profit growth can become slow. For the combination of passive income plus stability, Power Grid is a good name. So I have given it in the number 3 slot. Now we move from stability to maximum cash. Number 2, Coal India Limited. This is a super high dividend pay master, Coal India. It is one of the largest coal producing companies in the world, since India's electricity generation still depends heavily on coal. The importance of this company is even higher. When it comes to dividends, Coal India is literally a beast. Throughout the year, the company announces dividends multiple times. In the recent years, the combined dividend has been roughly in the 7% yield range, which means for a 100 rupee share price, it feels like about 7 rupee income per year. In some financial years, it has been even higher, since the dividend history has been continuous for decades. From a passive income point of view, it is a favorite among investors. But I should honestly mention the negatives as well. The business is cyclical. Coal demand, environment regulations, carbon policies, and overall health of the power sector all decide the future of Coal India. When we look at recent quarters, there have been fluctuations in the profits, and because of that, there is sometimes a doubt about whether the same level of dividends will continue in the future or not. The stock price has given a sideways or volatile journey over the years, so entering blindly just by looking at the yield is a mistake. In my view, Coal India is a strong passive income pick, but it should be treated as a high yield PSU slot and should be used with diversification, not as the only base of entire portfolio. Now we shift from pure income to quality plus income. At number 1 place, the stock I have kept is ITC. This is not a PSU. It is a private sector giant. It has a very diversified business model. Cigarettes, biscuits, atta, noodles, personal care, hotels, paper, packing, agriculture, many different segments. Cash generation is very strong, especially from the cigarette segment. On the dividend side, ITC's policy is very straightforward. It is very aggressive in giving cash back to shareholders. In the recent years, the dividend yield has been roughly in the 3.5% range. The payout ratio is almost around 80%, which means out of every 100 rupees of profit, a major portion is directly given back as dividends. There are multiple interim and final payouts in a year. So from a passive income angle, it feels like a predictable income stream. If we look at the positives, because it is a private diversified FMCG and cigarettes company, the pure PSU risk is lower. Consumer staple segments give decent performance even during downturns, so cash flow remains stable. This is a rare stock that can give both dividend income and reasonable capital appreciation together. The negatives are regulatory risk in the cigarette business, high taxes, sometimes stretched valuations, and normal slow growth cycles in the FMCG. But for an investor who wants to combine long-term wealth creation and passive income together, I have placed ITC at the top spot of the list. These were my 5 filtered passive income stocks for 2026. NTPC, REC, Power Grid, Coal India, and ITC. Each one generates dividends, but each also carries a different kind of risk. Dividend income feels comforting, but true wealth is protected only when income and capital grow together. High yield can attract you fast, but only strong businesses protect you quietly over time. Your money represents your effort, your years, and your sacrifices. So let every rupee you invest reflect not excitement but clarity and discipline. Thank you for watching. This is Bala signing off.